All right, then, since we successfully finished the write data, now all we have to read the data. So in order to read the data from the file, you typically use the classes like file input stream, buffer reader. So let me explain here the step by step. So first, what we need to do, we need to create a file object. We need to create a file object. This represents the file that which you want to read the data from. And two, we need to create an object for file input stream, and this is used to open the file in a read mode, right? And three, we need to wrap the file input stream into the buffer reader object that allows you to efficiently read the characters from the file, right? So let's go ahead and start writing the program for that. Let me collapse everything, and I'm going to create a new file called readexample.java. All right, here we go. And here I'm just going to say public static void main, open it, string args, open it. So first we need to wrap entire stuff into this, and here I'm just going to say system.out.println e.get that message, display it. And here now what I need to do, I need to create a file. So we need to, in order to use the file, of course, we need to import java.io.star. So here I'm just going to say file input file is equals to new file from where, that data.txt, from the exact same location, right? Then I need to create file input stream. File input stream is equals to new file input stream, supply that input file into it, semicolon. Then buffered input stream, buffered reader. I'm going to use the buffer reader, and I'm just going to say buffered reader as an instance name is equals to new buffered reader, open it. And here you need to apply the new input stream reader, and inside here you need to supply your file input stream. All right, and at the end, semicolon. Fine. And now what I need to do right after here, I need to read the entire lines. All right, so now we have all the object necessary. So now I need to read the data until the end of the line. So I might not know how many lines are there, right? So I can't directly go for a for loop because for loop needs the destination. So the only way for us to use the while loop. So while loop can go, the while loop can continuously run until the end for any certain point, or keep on running. So that's the difference between the for and while loop, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the while loop, and I'm going to make sure I'm going to read every single line until that line is not equals to null. I need to repeat the same stuff again and again. So let me show you here. While I'm going to write while inside the condition block over here, I'm going to use this buffer reader. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to store this information. I'm going to get the line and buffer reader dot read line. I'm going to read that line, and I'm going to store it in a local variable called line, right? So we have to make sure that line should be a string. So here I'm just going to define it as a string line, semicolon, right? So this line should not be equals to null. Until then, we need to keep on running this loop. So if it is not equals to null, then it's going to read that line. Then we are going to print that line on the screen. Where? In the screen. We are going to print that line in the screen. And at the end, if you wish to print something else, you can print it something else. I'm just going to say buffer reader dot close. I'm going to close that information. So save these changes and let's run this program. Here, let's run it. Instead of write example, I'm just going to say read example.java, compile it. No issues. And here I'm just going to say Java read example, run it. And here we go. So we have this complete information high there. Now, even if I am simply, let's say lorem, let's say either this is the file that we are trying to read by buffered reader. Hope this will read the data line by line. Dot. Say these changes, and now if you run it, here we go. See, just like that. Okay, so this is all about the reading and writing the data. So we successfully read the data. Let me explain this program one more time. So we having this input file object, which is exactly the same file which we returned in, and it's already there. We know that it is there, and we are trying to use this file input stream to create an instance, and we are supplying the file information into it, and we are using the buffer reader in order to stream this data through the input stream reader to seamlessly read the data without any lag or anything. That's the reason we are using the buffer reader. So we are getting that input stream and we are supplying it through the stream reader, and we are supplying it to the buffer reader, and using that buffer reader we are using the read line method to read the data from the file. Okay, and we are storing it in our local variable as a string, and we are printing it. So you can directly check this, and it is going to return your boolean. This is going to return the boolean only. If you are reading it and if you're trying to store it in a local variable, this is the only possible way to store it in a local variable directly inside the while loop, right? We are reading one by one line, storing it in a local variable, and we are checking whether it is not equal to null, then we are printing it. So this will continuously keep on running until it is not reading any specific line from the file. Of course, it is going to return null, then the loop will be terminated and the file object will be closed, then the program will be terminated. So this is all about the reading and writing the data into the file, right? This is how you need to read the data and write the data in the Java.